this might be the most amazing thing. Welcome to Maddie Makes, podcast 1 of 2025. This is a podcast to answer the question, what has Maddie Makes been up to? Now, I've been asked that way more in person than online, but the reason you haven't had a video in the last 2 weeks is because I was quilt obsessed. Yes. Not that I really talk about quilts on this channel, nor should I, because that would definitely screw up my algorithm. But I was working with the Mid-Valley Quilt Guild to put some quilts in their show, and they had a boutique, so I was selling my wares in the back. That's it. That's all I'm going to say about that. So for this podcast and all future podcasts, we will go over what is on the wheel, what was finished off the wheel, yarn, and what I currently have work in progress and finished with knitting or crochet. Then we will follow up with acquisitions, because yeah, there was a little fiber fair. And I took a wee bit of advantage, not a lot, but a wee bit, and future video ideas, or future videos in stance. So, and each one will have a chapter break down below, so you can go and pick out what you want to watch. Let's start with what is currently on the wheel. Now, my Norwegian wheel that was built prior to 1852, because we know it was on a boat at that time, so it had been made before. And it's gorgeous Lazy Kate. Now you see, its gorgeous Lazy Kate is now filled with dyed wool, natural wool, and a beautiful dye mohair. Do love me how the mohair spun up. Probably a little too fine to really be seen. Oh yes, as close as I can get. I am filming with the front of my camera so I can see me. I know that I'm centered, but not the greatest for close-ups. So now these will / have been spun into a 3-ply yarn. Well, we'll get to that in a second. The next thing that's currently on the wheels, currently being spun, is a fractal. Now, I know fractals can be done in different ways. I'm doing mine as a 3-ply. So what you do is you take a braid, break it into 3 even parts. The first part is going to be spun as is, straight off the top, and you're going to get long color breaks. The second part, the second ply, is broken in half, so you get twice as many color breaks as your first ply, right? Because they're half as tall. The third ply, the third strip of braid, is broken into 3 equal as you can parts and are spun top to bottom, so you spin them in the same order for what would be a third of the color breaks that you get in ply 1. So each one's a third of that length. So when you ply them all together, you will get a, hopefully, I don't know, I haven't spun them together yet, a result of those different color changes. Now, here is ply 1. Nope. Here is ply 1. Here is ply 2. And ply 3 is this cute little video here, because it's up on the wheel and I'm not dragging the wheel downstairs because it's on the Kromsky. She's a big wheel. We drug her downstairs before. We did it in pieces and cleaned her. If you want to see that, cleaning videos here, right? So click on that after you watch this video. Come back and click on that. Works fine. Now, let's get into finished, semi-finished projects. Okay. So here is the 3-ply sock yarn. Now this little bitty skein, which is less than 2 ounces, because we weighed it, right? It was 0.75 in an ounce or something. I'll have to go back and look. I don't remember, but it's so little. But I'm hoping it's a sock. I'm hoping it's 1 sock. I can hope. If not, I have one of these spools, one of these spools full upstairs with the plies. So with the 3-ply here. So this beautiful 3-ply will have several matching skeins of yarn. Now this one has been washed and finished. I did not flack it. I did not want it floofy. I did the trick where it was wet and you tighten it and then you rotate, you tighten it and you rotate it a little bit just to line it up and kind of redistribute the twist. That's it. That's all I did with it. And I'm loving how shiny it is. And I'm loving the color, right? Oh, you got it. I'm loving the color. Okay, so that was all on the historic Norwegian wheel. Now off the J. Farnham wheel, which might be a little older, we thinks, than the Norwegian wheel. It was built between 1830 and 1840s, right? Somewhere in that time period, in upstate New York by James Farnham. And I spun this alpaca silk blend. And if you can see, there's a little piece sticking up. Let's stick my finger in here. You can see the plies. It's a double ply yarn. They're pretty small. I'm thinking this is like a 14 wraps per inch, maybe a 16 wraps per inch. Much like this one. The older wheels spin fast. Especially this is a flax, I spun this on a flax wheel. It wants to spin fast, it wants to spin fine, because that is how flax should be spun. As far as hand spinning, that is hand spinning. But you know, we'll do a proper Scottish style hand spinning. I finished up this yarn. This is a 2-ply from the spinning we did for Tour de Fleece. So Tour de Fleece 2024. I finally finished up one of them, and this is a little chunky. We'll see how much this weighs and how big it is next video, right? I'll have it totally finished. This is kind of in progress, but it's plied, so it's finished, right? Some people are laughing because you know you have to put it all on the nitty naughty, get it into a hank, and then wash it and dry it. But I'm loving it. It's fine. Now, I am not the best spindle spinner. The most spindle spinning I've done was last year's Tour de Fleece. I love it. It was fun, especially spinning in the truck on a road trip. I will do that again. But the spinning isn't as consistent as I want it to be. So we'll have to practice more with this one. But so much fun, and glad we got that done. And there is still some floof left that's in this bag. There's some floof left, but that's okay. That concludes what is on the wheels. We will now proceed to what is on the knitting needles. There's no crochet at this time. So one thing I have working on a set of these cuffs. Now this is to practice with my color work. And I'm working with this sock yarn from Hobie. Not sponsored, just have it. There you are. Also have a sock machine. You gotta have lots of sock yarn hanging around. Let's get this close, you see. Still kind of working on it. All right, there. The pink kind of shares its floof. So the whole piece looks a little too pink for me. So I'm not sure I'd work the red with these light colors again. But it's good to know. But I am working on my color work, and so I was working on Norwegian hand mitts, and they kind of start you off to get the gauge right by doing these little wrist cuffs. Now I'm loving these little wrist cuffs. These things are so cute, right? Just the perfect thing. Now I'm not sure it should be worn this way or the other way, but if you have a long sleeve shirt that doesn't quite go to your wrist, or you want it up your hand a little bit, because this is a 3/4 shirt, so it's definitely not going up my wrist, but it keeps your wrist warm and it's out of the way of your hand, so it's not going to get in the way of spinning or knitting or anything. So I like it. They're pretty, and I get to practice my color work and working with charts. Now, with working with charts and working with hand spun, we did this yarn, and I'll try to pop the link up there from when we took that little braid that was a little compacted, and I did a video on how to work with compacted braids and breaking them up on the drum carder to let them breathe life again. Not sure where the other end is here. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's happening. Oh well. Oh, it was looped. It was looped. I'll figure it out. Anyway, working on this shawl. Now I have to say, this was take 2 for the shawl. This was take 2. I tried, I got on Ravelry, I looked and I looked and I looked, and I found this cool one with leaves, and I tried to, you know, the lovely little leaf motif, but it was a little busy. And I haven't done that much lace work. So I tried and I tried, and I wasn't doing the yarn overs to give you this big, these nice big holes. And it was really busy. And this yarn is a little floofy. We did spin it woolen. So it's a 2-ply woolen. It should be a little floofy. There's alpaca in here. Are there 2 types of alpaca in here? Yes, there was 2 types of alpaca in here. Plus whatever was in the braid, plus whatever I decided to throw in from the kitchen sink. Go watch the video. I threw a whole bunch of stuff in there. So I went with this simpler pattern that has lacework blocks down each side and down the middle of the shawl. Now, you knit it upside down. So from the neck, don't fall off stitches. We have lacework on this side, lacework in the middle, and lacework at the end with triangled stockinette stitch throughout, right? So you knit one row, purl the next. And this one is like, I really like the pattern because when you knit the row, that's your patterned row. And when you purl back, it's just solid purling back. You don't have to do anything extra. The one I was doing before was patterned each way, and it was just a little much for me. I'm on that learning curve. I will get there. I just wasn't there today. And that's okay. We each grow and learn with knitting. So if it frustrates you too much, it's okay to rip it out and start with something simpler. We knit for fun. We knit for enjoyment. We knit to cure our sanity, because frankly, the world is crazy right now, and we need to get out of our heads and into our hands probably more often than we used to. Saying that as an American. Just saying that as an American. In 2025. So, loving me this project, liking the lacework. I think it's going to block out really good, even though it is a little floofy, right? And I'm getting down to the point where I'm going to work a solid patterned row at the bottom. So it goes, the patterns on the side and the middle all join the pattern row at the very base. So that should be fun, but it's not going to be fun with that much yarn, which is coming from together. That's okay. That's nothing. That's like maybe a row, maybe 2. So I know there's a second ball of yarn. I just need to go find it and put it with this project because somehow they got separated. We're not asking how. We're not doing that. All right. And within doing this project, I did find a cute trick. Now I'm going to show this cute little trick with the book I got this shawl pattern out of. And yeah, it was easier for me to follow a pattern in a book than it was online, because I could do this. I could take a sheet of metal. Now it's white on one side, black on the other, and it's just a sheet of, I think, 10. So something magnetic. And then I took this little magnet business card my gardener gave me, and then it just goes click. Right? So you're not losing it when you're in the car. You're not losing it when you're like, read it on the couch, set it on the table. It's not falling out. So I'm really loving that. Trying to put it back. I think I was on row 19. And it's helping me keep track of the pattern. Now, so I explain the pattern a lot. There she is. There's the pattern in its glory. I think it'll look better in green. I'm not liking the bright pink. I'm loving my green. Of course, I like my more demure colors. But I do like me some color, right? So super happy with how this is turning out and can't wait to show you the finished product. Now that is not all that is on the needles. There's one more because this is a complex knit. This is pattern working. You need time to work on it. So for those little its and bits of time where I want to mindlessly knit, I'm trying this Musselburgh, and I will link it in the back below. It is a Ravelry pattern. Now it is a pay for pattern, but I really like the way the pattern is written. The pattern is written to accommodate the type of yarn you're using, anywhere from like I think a lace weight to a heavy fingering weight, maybe into the DK realm, but definitely in those lighter weights. And so 1s and 2s works really good for 1s and 2s, and you can figure out your stitches per inch and calculate how many stitches you need around, how many increases you need to do. It's all laid out kind of chart form. You just mark what your count is and move on. Super easy. Don't really need to do a swatch because you can measure it when you get past your increases. Now this is a double layer hat, so it starts with the increases on one side, whole bunch of beautiful stockinette stitch in the round, and then you decrease at the other end, hopefully making them look exactly the same. Then you push one side of the hat through the other. All your little yarn changes and everything else stick in the inside between the layers, so no one's going to see them. I love that. And then you fold up the brim, so you have 2 different hats depending on how you want to wear it. So I am doing this yarn. Now I'm doing this as a trial. I want to see how the colors line up to know how to do the color changes in the future for doing different hats. And they have a chart that breaks the hat down to 4 parts that shows you how to do it, but I need to see it in knit form. So I grabbed up this stroll fingering weight, did the cream, this beautiful pale green, and this light turquoise, and we will work those up. So my first hat should be cream to turquoise, so when I fold it up the brim, it should be turquoise, and then, or I'm sorry, it should be this pale green, and then when you flip it around, it'll be turquoise, and when you flip it up, it'll be the pale green. So you basically get 2 hats. And it's just a simple, mindless, I can almost knit without looking at my hands, which I love. And it's a light enough color that if I'm in a dark space, I'm still fine. I can catch it if I accidentally drop a stitch. And that is what's on the needles: the hand cut, the cuffs, the shawl, and the hat. I'm all set for winter, other than my colors don't match at all. Don't wear them together. I mean, you can. If you're cold, wear whatever it takes to make you warm. Anyway, that is what's on there. So I did say I went to a fiber fair. Now in my last video, I did do a quick shot, little video of the fiber fair action. It's just a little room. It was so cute. It's put on by the Aurora Hand Spinners. And there was this lovely lady that had Surrey alpaca. So I had to pick it up. Now each one of these lovely little balls is an ounce, and she was selling 4 ounces for a certain price. So I had to get a gradient. Boom, boom, boom. A gradient, right? So my question to you, because I want to do a shawl that does the light, the medium, going down to the dark. Do I take each ball, split my little roving in half, so I have half an ounce of each one, and then spin them separate, ply them together, so I have a 1 ounce ball of each color? Or do I split each one in half, No, I'm not ripping. This is pencil roving. I'm not ripping on the side of it. But splitting out a ½ ounce of each, spinning them light, pale, medium, dark, and then applying that all together. So we will have most of the tones lining up with some overage. So there'll be some barber pulling between the colors. And then spin that so they'll be so it'll all be one ball that goes light, pale, medium, dark. And then I knit it all at once. So those are the questions. Do I make separate balls of each? Or do I just separate them out and make it one ball of yarn? And my voice is starting to go. So tell me what you think. Or if you have another idea. If you have another idea, maybe blending them a little bit in between. You know, take a ½ ounce of each one and do blends. That could be fun. So let me know how these beautiful alpaca pieces should be spun to make a shawl. That's it. That's all we want to do. It's 4 ounces, should be enough. The next thing I bought, this might be the most amazing thing. This is the most amazing thing. Ah! Now, there's a lot of different fibers we can spin with, right? We know we can spin with a lot of different wool fibers, a lot of different sheep, right? We can spin with alpaca fibers, with the suri and the wakaya. We can spin with the mohair, which is an Angora goat. We can spin with, just because it's sitting here, cashmere, which is another type of goat, which is why this baby's in a zippy bag, so we don't get mingled with, right? We know we can spin with camel. I have some camel over there. So, and yak. I want some yak. I want to spin with yak. I want to spin with buffalo. Haven't had a chance to do those yet. But I know those are all spinning fibers. I ran into one I didn't know was a spinnable fiber. And this will be a video. We are going to spin with this beautiful thing. Do you see what it is? You do. You're going, what is she talking about? What's she going to spin with? Okay. From Unique Fibers, because that's what she does. She pulls on Unique Fibers. This is beautiful bat. Now, the shiny pieces are bamboo. So let me read you what's in here. 50% merino and 30% bamboo. Right. The tan color, that little musty tan tone in there, New Zealand brush-tailed possum. What? Now I know I got loud. Brush-tailed possum? What can spin with brush-tailed possum? Now these are very short, like inch, very fine fibers. So we know we have to put a lot of twist on this. It was suggested to me, since this is merino and the bamboo, and the bamboo is probably pretty long staple length, that this should be done in like a long draw form. You know, just long draw, boom, and put a little bit more twist in it than normal. She's like, let the bat tell you what it wants to do. Okay. And then she showed me these cute little hand mitts that she was knitting out of very similar fiber. Brush-tail possum, slightly different colorway. But it's so soft. I'm just sitting here petting it. You can't see me. It's over here, right? Oh, yeah. This is tactically amazing. So if you see new fibers and you're interested in them, I'm not telling you what I paid for this. It was a little much, but it's from New Zealand. 20% of this is brought in from New Zealand, and I don't think the bamboo fibers are that cheap either. So definitely going to spin with that. Pardon me, allergies are trying to kill me, but I won't let them. No, I won't let them. So that wraps up everything that I had completed, worked on, and procured, and including some new video ideas. I'm serious when I say let me know, and I'll try to do a post where I do buttons, but let me know if there's a third way, because doing 3 buttons is way more fun than just doing 2. And I will see you next week when we see what of all this actually got done. So I love you all. Happy knitting, happy spinning. Do what makes you happy. Stay in that happy mindset. Get out of your head and into your hands. And if you still want to watch some more things, check out these videos. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And I will see you in the next one.